Okay, so let's begin today. Good afternoon, all of you, and let's begin for today's class. So I hope that all you people might have attempted yesterday's test nicely. So how was yesterday's paper? It might be simple because you know that from that only you people were able to write and notes were already with you. So those who are not studying, for them also they are able to write it about, and those who are creative, those who are writing their own, for them also it was quite simple. So uh, let's see how much marks you people are going to get. But here your evaluation will be based on the presentation, grammar, spelling mistakes, handwriting, etc. So this time I'm not sure that everyone will get 25 marks in this test. So marks will be reduced for spelling mistakes and all those things. Let's begin today. Additionally, we are going to talk about that reading comprehension that yesterday you people solved one passage. The passage was quite simple and it was about, I think, that concentration. So I hope that it was simple and there was nothing difficult to understand. And if something is difficult, in that case, you can just try to understand meaning in the context. It means that you know the meaning of first word and third word, but you don't know the meaning of second word. In that case, you can guess the meaning. So not necessary that you have to know each and every word. So you can guess meaning also. So therefore, reading comprehension is very important. Let me ask, is my voice audible for online students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Why it is very important? So you don't take it casually that it was there in 10th, it was there in 12th, and it was quite simple. You know that these kind of things are required at workplace. Tomorrow, when you people will complete your job, graduation, and you will start job. So that time you people are expected to practice these kind of things. So you may get some documents. It can be email, okay? So you received an email and it contains some information. So if you receive that email, in that case, you have to first of all read it. Then you have to understand it. And as per your requirement, or as per your need, you have to reproduce that whatever the information is there in that email, that your people have to use it. So therefore, reading comprehension is not just for your marks or only for test, ISC test, but it has much more indication when you people actually start working somewhere. So that is not always email. Sometimes you get some notices, some documents, maybe some letters also. So everywhere it is going to come that you have to read and understand its meaning, and then you can reproduce. You can just try to mention that whatever information that you have understood, you can use it, utilize it. So for that purpose, reading comprehension is very important. So you don't take it casually. So whenever you are reading, you people need to understand reading can be of two types. So which two types? It can be silent reading, it can be loud reading. So based on your preference, if you're alone and if maybe you're studying, so that time I will recommend you prefer loud reading. But if you are in the class, if you are at workplace, here you don't have option of loud reading. Here you have to read silently. So with reading, you need to get the meaning also. There are many students who are able to read it, but they are not able to understand, because reading becomes quite simple, but understanding becomes difficult. Why? Because we do not have much or sufficient vocabulary, and so therefore we are able to read it, we are able to pronounce those words, but we are not able to understand their meaning. So additionally, you people have to increase your vocabulary also. What do you mean by vocabulary? You should know the word, you should know the meaning also, and their synonyms, antonyms, etc., so that you people can use them. So let's begin. What is some information about this unit number 4 that we people will talk? As I already told you that there is not much things that we people have to discuss about this reading comprehension, because already you people have been practicing this reading comprehension since maybe your 9th standard, 10th standard, 11th and 12th. So therefore there is not much that you people have to worry about. But let's see some tips or why this reading comprehension is there. You people might be able to understand. So let's start. So I will share the screen. Is the second slide visible for online students?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what is reading comprehension? In short, you can call, or sometimes you may get it short from like RC. So what is this RC? RC stands for reading comprehension. So what is meaning of comprehension? Reading we know. So what is meaning of comprehension?
Understand.
Yes, that is right. So you have to understand, you have to comprehend, you need to just work on it. So that is comprehension. Okay, that is cognitive ability. So an ability to understand something. What is reading comprehension? By reading, you are going to understand something. What is the writer or the person is trying to say through his writing? Okay, we are reading and we are understanding. An exercise where content is understood, incorporated, and reproduced in own words. So why this is there? Why this reading comprehension is there? That this is an exercise. And what you do with this exercise? You understand the content. So which content? Whatever the writer is trying to say in that passage, in that paragraph, that you try to understand. Then you incorporate it. Incorporate means, again, you are going to work on it. You are going to think on it. It is not only understanding. After understanding, you're going to think on it, whether it is right, whether it is wrong, what are causes, what are effects, something like this. So this is incorporation. And reproduced. So what is reproducing? So for example, if you got one concept or one point or one paragraph that you read, okay, so out of your understanding, you are going to produce it in your own words. It may be as it is, it may be with some paraphrase, it may be some summary also sometimes. So you are going to reproduce it in your own words. So you cannot copy as it is. You have to reproduce it in your own words. So that is the purpose of reading comprehension, to understand technical as well as non-technical concepts. So even by technical and non-technical, reading comprehension may include general information like that we people are having passages, maybe that we are facing in the exams. So these are non-technical, okay. And in technical, you may be coming across with some of the, let's say, any machinery, any information, any technology, might be some technical information is there. Such technical information will be there that you people have to read that technical information and you need to understand, okay. Non-technical concepts, ideas or messages at workplace, very important. As far as students, you may not realize its importance, but at workplace you are going to feel its importance very much, because on a daily basis you are going to get number of emails, documents, and emails have some attachments of words, excels, or maybe a PowerPoints and some data that is going to come to you. And if you are familiar with this reading comprehension, easily you are going to just skim through these information and you are going to understand. And if you are not habitual for reading comprehension, it will become very difficult for you. You'll spend a lot of time in reading carefully, finding their meanings, using dictionary. So this will consume time. But from right now, if you're practicing, you will be familiar with much, and less amount of time will be required when you people will start working. And at the time of working, if you start, that time it will require a lot of time, because you are not practicing it and you don't know meaning of words, you don't know how to understand the concepts and themes. So therefore, it is very important that at workplace, you people have to understand so much content, which might be your boss, your colleagues, your seniors, juniors, might be communication from out of organization also sometimes you're coming across. So therefore, it is necessary. Understanding the unfamiliar content by paying careful attention to context and reproducing same if required. So what is expected you to do here? Understanding the unfamiliar content. Why it is unfamiliar? Because this is, I just told you, this is unseen passage. Before, you do not have any idea about this kind of content. First time you are going to come across with this kind of information. So this is unfamiliar content. And when you are reading some unfamiliar content, here it is very, very important that you people have to pay careful attention. Yesterday's passage, it was about attention. So if you have read it carefully and understood, you come to know what is the importance of attention. If you pay attention, you will understand very much. And if you are not paying attention, you will not understand much. That is applicable for study also. During lecture, if you are paying attention and if you are attentive, if you understand, then it will affect in your maybe understanding as well as writing of the exams and so much things. And during the lecture, if you are not attentive, maybe you are physically present or maybe you are online present, But that thought process, what thought process is going on in your mind, nobody can predict. Only you know what is going on in your mind. So in that case, you're not paying attention. So I think that randomly I used it to check students who are in online class, even in offline also I used it to do like this. But right now, because I assume that everybody might pay attention, so therefore we are not doing this. And again, time is less also. So attention is very much important. It is not only for learning, it is not only for as a student, but in your professional life, in your personal life, anywhere, wherever you are going to do anything. It might be listening, it might be writing, it might be anything. There you have to pay your complete attention. And you might have such experience when you pay your complete attention, you understand it very much and it becomes simple for you. And on the other hand, when you do not pay attention, you do not understand and it becomes complicated. You lose your interest about that subject. Right now also you can realize this, that maybe some subjects are quite easier for you, some subjects become difficult for you, and because of these subjects we feel as difficult, we try to pay less attention to these subjects. And again that it increases our complexity. So therefore attention is very much important. Another thing, you check yourself if you are listening to me and you're not daydreaming. So what is meaning of daydreaming? Does anyone know here what is a daydreaming is? Daydreaming, many of the times during lecture it happens. So just give an example that maybe you are listening me online or here physically also students are there listening me, but that what thoughts they are going on in their mind can be when this lecture will start, or might be recent thoughts about the just lunch. Lunch was very delicious. Maybe some discussion happened with our friends, and we're thinking about that. So in front of you, teacher is talking, he's teaching something, and if your people thinking like this, maybe in the evening you are having some plans to go out with your friends and something like this. So thoughts are coming in your mind, which are distractions, and because of that you are not able to understand. So in short, I would like to tell you that you have to pay careful attention to context and reproducing same if required. Okay, so daydreaming is that your imaginary schemes. So comprehension is used as a tool to find out how well a candidate understands content and language. So why these kind of passages are there? That in competitive exams also, if you are thinking of MPSC, UPSC, and sometimes in placement tests also, aptitude tests also, you people will get some passage like this, but that difficulty level is more. So what passage I gave yesterday, it was quite simple. There was not a difficulty level. It was very simple. Everybody can understand simply. But as you go for the tough examinations like MPSC, UPSC, or maybe sometimes other exams, maybe for state government and central government exams and jobs, for that, difficulty level will be more. So comprehension is a tool, is used as a tool to find out how well candidate understands content and language. So how well you are in English. If the passage in English, how well is your understanding in English, and how you can grasp the content which is provided in that passage. So for that purpose, such a reading comprehension is included in competitive exams and in every kind of, such kind of exams or evaluation is there. So here I will recommend on your own also you people can practice reading comprehension. If you want to prepare for competitive exams, might be from maybe any field, private or government, you can practice it on internet. You people will get number of such passages where you people can read those passages, and there are questions that you people have to solve answers based on these questions. Okay, so any questions here so far? What this reading comprehension and why it is there? If not, then let's go to the next slide here. Okay, so next slide is about some tips that you people can follow. Yesterday, whether you followed or don't, I don't know about it, but let's try to once again go through these some of the tips that you can follow. If you have gone through notes, in that case you might have come across with these tips because they are provided in this notes also. So first of all, read the given passage carefully. Okay, so first thing that you people have to do, read the given passage carefully. Okay, so rather than here I can make some changes also. Rather reading passage, first of all you can go directly to the questions. So whatever 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions are there, first read the questions and then start reading passage. Why? Why to do like this? Yes, because if you read the question and if you're reading passage, immediately answer will struck to you where in that passage, because you know some questions might be very simple, factual questions are there, simple factual, complex factual questions are there, which are as it is there in the passage. So therefore you can immediately click this question was there, and for this question this answer is here in this passage. So therefore instead of reading passage, first of all you go for questions, read questions, whatever 3, 4, 5, maybe 10 also sometimes the questions you have to read, and then go for the passage. So passage that you have to read it twice at least, depending upon how much time you are going to get, because in competitive exam there is very less time that will be available for you. So depending upon time, you can start reading the passage. Try to understand the central idea of the passage. So what do you mean central idea? Central idea is nothing but what the writer is trying to convey. So yesterday when you read the passage, what was central idea of that passage? Concentration. Yes, it was all about concentration. What will happen if you pay concentration and all these things. So concentration was central idea, and once you clear with central idea, then it will help you to understand what the sentences are trying to tell you. Read the questions carefully. Then once you finish the questions, here you go second time for questions. Okay, here you go for second time for question. First, in the beginning you are reading questions, then passage, then once again question, and try to locate answers from the given paragraph. Then you can go to the paragraph and try to find out which are the answers there. If you find any difficult word, try to understand its meaning with reference to the context. Okay, I already explained this. You know the meaning of one word, 2 words in a sentence, but there might be 1 or 2 more words which you do not know. They might be totally new or maybe difficult for you to understand. So what to do in that case? You have to guess the meaning. It is okay to guess the meaning, because you know some of the words are familiar to you and their meaning also known to you. So from this meaning or from this context, you can guess the words which you don't know. Try to understand the tone of the author. So what do you mean by tone of the author? What the author, writer is trying to tell. What he's trying to say. Sometimes he's appealing, sometimes he's giving some message, sometimes he may be asking some questions at the end. So that you try to find out what writer is, what is the intention of the writer behind writing this paragraph, that you try to find out. Answer in full sentences. Now this is regarding answers. When you are answering, it should not answer in words. Sometimes simple factual questions and answer can be 1 word, 2 word, but here you are expected to write answer in complete sentence, not in words. Don't copy the lines from the passage as they are. This is a very common technique we have been following since you started this exercise of reading comprehension. Read the question, identify some keywords in the question, search such keywords in passage, and where you find these keywords in passage, 1 line before these keywords, 1 line after these keywords, we are copying as it is. Okay, so that has to be avoided. That is not a right way to answer reading comprehension questions. It needs to be to the point, because it does not make it clear that you understand the passage. So therefore, you just try to answer like this and don't copy lines. So that was very simple, and that's all about this reading comprehension. काही क्वेश्चन्स आहेत का कुणाला रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेन्शन बद्दल कुणाला कळालं नाही किंवा कालच्या पॅराग्राफ मध्ये खूप अडचणी आल्या असे कोण होते का सोडवता आलं नाही वगैरे असं. So what you people can do now, you people have to practice more such paragraphs. कुठून मिळतील हे पॅराग्राफ? एनीवेअर. यू टू मेक यूज ऑफ इंटरनेट. आपण जे मोबाईलचा सोशल मीडियासाठी वापर करतो, कुठं फेसबुक, कुठं इन्स्टावरती, कुठं आणखी वॉट एव्हर नंबर ऑफ सोर्सेस आर देयर. They are also better. 11th and 12th books, if you are just reading them once again, I will say instead of 11th and 12th, you can refer 10th book also, 9th book also, 8th, because right now we are mature and we can understand. If you read the book of 5th standard, 8th standard, it is simple for understanding. But when you are in 8th standard, that time it was difficult for you. Right now it becomes simple. So whatever content you are getting in English, try to read. It may be some any information. For example, suppose that you buy one packet of, let's say, kurkure or any such junk food. Sometimes we buy something from the shop, so you start reading everything which is given on that this, packet. So it might be who is the manufacturer, then a date of its production, expiry date, which are the contents, what are the features, some information. A lot of information is always there. So you should not feel that I don't have anything to read. So whatever coming in your hand, you keep reading it and try to understand. So this will help you a lot when you people will go into the next stage of your life or career. You people will understand much more content without much trouble. Otherwise, if you start maybe at the later on, at later stage, then it becomes difficult. Already I have said you that practice needs for everyone. This is also a skill. If you start from right now, from newspaper, from anywhere, read something, it can be short, okay, like a paragraph. That much only read and try to understand, try to tell it in your own words. That's all simply. Okay, so that is all about unit number 4. So I think that in a hurry we tried to finish unit number 3, and we wanted to close unit number 5 also. So shall we go to unit number 5 here, or can we practice some dialogues here? Based on your suggestion, where people can take decision. So the way we people study dialogue writing, so you people will, 2 students will be chosen in a pair, and we people can give the situation, then you can prepare dialogue, and these 2 students will speak. Okay, so can we go for these dialogues?
Yes, sir.
Or it will be difficult? We'll try. So those who are interested, you can raise your hands from online and offline as well. So 1 pair from online and 1 pair from offline. Online we will take it like this, 2 dialogues. So you'll get some time for thinking, maybe 5 minutes we people will give. So is there anyone who are interested? Because right now we think simple topics we people will give. Students planning to go for a movie. So I think that this is simple. So is there anyone? Maybe 2 friends. Now I need 2 friends. So meanwhile you can communicate with your friend and try to make him ready for this discussion. And another I will give one formal, teacher and students, about absenteeism. So student was absent maybe more than 2-3 lectures, and teacher is asking his reason like this. So one of you will play the role of teacher, one of you will be a student, and you can imagine the situation and we can present it. Let's try. Let it be wrong, okay? Because we are just learning in the beginning only. So if you make some mistakes, that will be okay, but you should be ready. So from offline, is there anyone? एखादी situation घेऊ शकता का यातले कोणी? See, we should always show some leadership initiative. पुढे आलं पाहिजे. काय होणार आहे जास्तीत जास्त? Maybe we fail, अडकळेल किंवा येणार नाहीये. But let's try. That is important. If not, then maybe we can go to the next unit number 5, and that will be a kind of, you know, that I can see this lecture. So many of the students, you're just listening mode only, and I'm not sure how much attentive you people will be. Many of you might be feeling sleepy also, as this is afternoon lecture. You might have just finished your lunch. So somehow you're trying to keep your eyes open. Is it happening? Hotega, sir? Or you can choose your own situation. हे दोन्ही नको वाटत असेल तर you can have your own situation also. आणि व्हेरी सिंपल आपण काल बघितलं सुरुवातीला काय करायचं ग्रीटिंग्स सो ग्रीटिंग्स आर कॉमन गुड मॉर्निंग गुड आफ्टरनून हाय हॅलो हाऊ आर यू आई एम फाइन सो ॲटलीस्ट दिस मच देयर इज नो डिफिकल्टी ना and then you can go forward situation so planning for movie might be you can just what are you doing this weekend so then reply would be because it is imagination everything is based on imagination no any situation has fixed answer okay it will be all about what you think and how do you think it will be based on your imagination okay then no students are ready from online also and offline also is it like this okay fine then it will be up to you choice will be yours if you choose now then you will come to know whether you can speak how you can speak what mistakes you can make and later on we can correct those mistakes if you think that I will learn separately I will learn maybe not in front of my class my friends are there they will laugh at me if you're having such a limited thoughts in that case you are going to speak never fine then shall we close this here we will go to the next unit. Maybe more 4 or 5 lectures we will take and we can finish this unit number 5. So unit number 5 is all about writing practices. Okay, writing practices first. Now here you have to realize why this is important. So if you consider all your syllabus, okay. So there was unit number 1. So what was that unit number 1 was about? काय होता unit number 1? Name. English grammar. What was second? Vocabulary. Then third was oral communication. Fourth was what? What we just finished.
Reading comprehension.
Yes. Reading comprehension. And here is unit number 5. That is
Business letters.
writing practices. Okay, writing practices first, like this. So in that writing practices, 5.1 is about business letters. So if you think of all these 5 units, you'll come to know that how they're connected with each other. If you want to use English, first thing that everyone has to be clear with your grammatical concepts. So what is required here? All parts of speech that you have to be familiar with. Tenses, you have to be clear with how to use, how to make sentences. And in that, we have also done voice also. Voice was not there, but additionally, we practiced voice also. Then additionally, we also studied that redundancies, cliches, or maybe sometimes we are not sure about these idioms and phrases also, but they are part of this. So English grammar is very essential if you want to speak good English. Okay, if you think that you are making some mistakes in your communication, then simultaneously you people start working on your English grammar also. So for English grammar also, you need not to spend separate time. At the end of the day सगळा अभ्यास पूर्ण झाला, जस्ट इंग्लिश प्रॅक्टिस करणार आहे कम्युनिकेशनची, त्यावेळेस एखादं मे बी बुक असेल तर ते रेफर करू शकता, or maybe if you have any website, good website, that also people can refer, but you just have to refer it again and again. त्यातल्या त्यात तुमचे टेन्स हे परफेक्ट असले पाहिजे. त्यानंतर तुम्हाला व्हॉइस कसा चेंज होतो आणि हाऊ यू आर गोइंग टू मेक सेंटेन्सेस इन व्हॉइस. टाइप्स ऑफ सेंटेन्सेस वी हॅव नॉट स्टडीड, पण तरी पण तुम्ही टाइप्स ऑफ सेंटेन्सेस ऑल्सो यू जस्ट ट्राय टू हॅव अन आयडिया. So this is important. Then next point comes, that will be, or next unit was about vocabulary. So what is required when you are clear with your grammar, but it does not mean that you can speak English. So here your vocabulary matters. जर आपल्याकडे शब्दच कमी असतील तर बऱ्याच वेळा स्टुडंट बोलताना मध्ये मध्ये काय होतं, असं अडकळत राहतं. काय होतं असं मग ते ट्राईंग टू फेच vocabulary. शब्द नाहीयेत, सुचत नाहीयेत किंवा आठवत नाही किंवा माहिती नाहीयेत. आणि दुसरी गोष्ट मग वाक्य बनवताना ते ग्रामर परफेक्ट नसतं. मग ते काय वापरायचं तिथं, एमिजार येते का, वॉज येते का, की काय सेंटेन्स कसं बनवायचं हे त्यांच्या बॅकअप ऑफ माइंड चालू असते प्रोसेस. आणि त्यामुळे त्यांचं जे काही कंटेंट बोलायचं काय हे बाजूलाच राहतं. आणि हे बोलण्यासाठी त्यांना ही कसरत करायला लागते की शब्द गोळा करा, त्यांना एकत्रित ठेवा, त्यांचं ग्रामर बरोबर आहे का, टेन्स बरोबर आहे का हे चेक करा. आणि यामुळे मग त्यांचं जे कॉन्व्हर्सेशन आहे ते कॉन्व्हर्सेशन मध्ये मागे राहतात. आणि बाकीची जे काही नेक्स्ट लोक कोण पुढे तुमच्याशी कम्युनिकेशन करत असेल ती लोक तुमच्या पुढे असतात कम्युनिकेशन मध्ये. त्यामुळे आपल्याला यावरती सुद्धा वर्क करायचंय. काय करू शकतो यामध्ये व्होकॅब्युलरी मध्ये सिनोनिम्स अँटोनिम्स तर आहेत, जास्तीत जास्त सिनोनिम्स अँटोनिम्स माहिती करायचे. त्याच्या व्यतिरिक्त एव्हरी डे यू कॅन मेक अ सेपरेट नोटबुक फॉर रायटिंग 5 न्यू वर्ड्स डेली. दररोज 5 शब्द लिहायचे. म्हणून मी सुरुवातीला हे सांगितलेलं होतं. And once again, I just trying to tell you that you can make a separate notebook, and in that, while studying, while referring to internet, maybe any sources that you are doing, maybe you're reading a book, maybe story, anything that you are doing, and while reading that, you may come across with some new words. You can write those new words in that notebook. Minimum 5, maximum as much you can, and then write their meaning also. अर्थ सुद्धा लिहायचा. आणि अर्थ लिहिताना प्रेफर इंग्लिश टू इंग्लिश. मराठीमधून शक्यतो टाळायचं. जर कळतच नसेल, काहीच कळत नसेल तर इन दॅट केस यू पीपल कॅन यूज मराठी, बट आय विल रिकमेंड यू कॅन यूज इंग्लिश टू इंग्लिश डिक्शनरी. आणि मग तरी पण नाही कळत असेल तर अगेन यू कॅन सर्च इंग्लिश मिनिंग. म्हणजे इंग्लिश शब्दाचा अर्थ इंग्लिश मधून आलाय त्याचा अजून अर्थ इंग्लिश मध्ये शोधायचा. असं खाली खाली उतरत जायचं. म्हणजे इट बिकम्स मोर सिम्पलर. सो दॅट यू पीपल कॅन डू. सो विल यू डू दिस? कराल का असं? काय करायला सांगितलं मी? इकडे तुमच्या पलीकडे काय सांगितलं? कशी वाढवायची? लक्ष दे. झोप लागली का? जा मग बाहेर जायचं, तोंड वगैरे धुवून यायचं, पाणी वगैरे पिऊन यायचं. Be alert and be active. It may happen. Everyone just be alert. You are not feeling sleepy. Then third was oral communication. Lot of we have discussed, I have discussed. खूप सारे गोष्टी या oral communication वरती डिपेंड आहे. तुम्ही एज्युकेशन काय घेतलं किंवा डिग्री आहे किंवा नाहीये, that is another matter. But if you are good in communication, you can have lots of opportunity. खूप साऱ्या संधी तुम्हाला मिळू शकतात ज्यावेळेस तुमचं इंग्लिश कम्युनिकेशन चांगलं आहे. मग देन इट डज नॉट मॅटर की तुम्ही हाऊ मच यू नो अँड ऑल दोज थिंग्स, बिकॉज यू नो हाऊ टू प्रेझेंट युअर सेल्फ. बऱ्याच लोकांना प्रॉब्लेम असा असतो की येस आय कॅन स्पीक बट आय डोंट नो कंटेंट. आणि देर आर अदर पीपल who don't know much but they can also present themselves based on their knowledge. त्यांच्या नॉलेजवरती ते थोडस करू शकतात. मग इंग्लिश कम्युनिकेशनचा फायदा तुम्हाला असा होऊ शकतो की तुम्ही तुमच्या जे काही नॉलेज आहे त्याला चांगल्या पद्धतीने प्रेझेंट करू शकता. तर त्यासाठी ओरल कम्युनिकेशन महत्वाचं आहे. तुमचं जीडी झालं, इंटरव्ह्यू झालं किंवा इतर अजून कुठली प्रोसेस किंवा जॉबच्या ठिकाणी सुद्धा when you are expecting multinational companies असेल तर त्या ठिकाणी तुमचं कम्युनिकेशन खूप मॅटर करतं. सो एव्हरीवन एन्श्युअर दॅट right now you have plenty of time. म्हणजे असं नाही की उद्या लगेच तुम्हाला कुठेतरी जॉईन व्हायचं. You have plenty of time. You need to utilize this time for improving your English communication. हा वेळ आपण कशासाठी वापरतोय, जो तुमच्याकडे भरपूर जो वेळ शिल्लक आहे, तो वेळ तुम्ही कसा सदुपयोग करणार आहात ते तुम्ही लक्षात घ्यायचं. हे झालं ओरल कम्युनिकेशनच्या बाबतीमध्ये. यू वर्क ऑन इट अँड बेस्ड ऑन दॅट यू विल गेट लॉट्स ऑफ थिंग्स. नेक्स्ट इज रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेन्शन आणि रायटिंग प्रॅक्टिसेस. ह्या दोन्ही गोष्टी आहेत. दे विल हेल्प यू ॲट वर्क प्लेस. कामाच्या ठिकाणी जेव्हा तुम्ही जॉईन केलेलं असेल त्या ठिकाणी तुम्हाला या गोष्टींचा फायदा होणार. हाऊ टू राईट अ लेटर. एखादं कुठलंही एन्क्वायरी लेटर, बिझनेस लेटर असेल किंवा जॉब ऍप्लिकेशन लेटर पण आहे. जेव्हा तुमचं ग्रॅज्युएशन पूर्ण झालेलं आहे, तुम्ही बाहेर कुठे कंपनीमध्ये जॉब शोधत असाल, प्लेसमेंटच्या माध्यमातून झालं तर तुम्हाला काही जॉब ऍप्लिकेशन लेटर वगैरे लिहायची गरज नाही, तर कंपनीमधून सिलेक्शन होऊ शकतं. बट इन केस यू वॉन्टेड टू अप्लाय सेपरेटली, न्यूजपेपरमध्ये ऍडव्हर्टाइजमेंट आली, ती वाचली आणि तिथं तुम्हाला ऍप्लिकेशन करायचं असेल तर त्या ठिकाणी तुमचं रिझ्युमे रायटिंग आणि जॉब ऍप्लिकेशन लेटर या दोन गोष्टी तुमच्या चांगल्या असणं अपेक्षित असतं. सो हिअर यू जस्ट लर्न हाऊ कॅन बी बेटर इन युअर रायटिंग स्किल्स ऑल्सो. आणि त्याच्या व्यतिरिक्त कामाच्या ठिकाणी म्हणजे सिलेक्शन झालं, 1-2 वर्ष झाली, त्यानंतर तुमच्यावरती काहीतरी जबाबदारी असणार. म्हणजे काहीतरी तुम्ही कुठलं तरी एन्क्वायरी किंवा ऑर्डर किंवा कुठलं मॅन्युफॅक्चरिंग सर्व्हिसेस काहीतरी तुमची कंपनी देत असणार आहे ना, तर त्या संदर्भातला पत्रव्यवहार आहे. तो पत्रव्यवहार यू पीपल हॅव टू डू विथ other people, maybe from same organization, maybe from other than organization. तुमच्या स्वतःच्या कंपनीमध्ये होऊ शकतो हा पत्रव्यवहार किंवा बाहेरच्या कंपनीमध्ये सुद्धा होऊ शकतो. सो therefore this is also important. So together all these things you people have to just try to understand. जरी थेरी पेपर नाहीये, जरी तुम्हाला एक्झाम नसेल तरी पण ह्या सगळ्या गोष्टी महत्त्वाच्या आहेत. आणि आर वी स्टिकिंग टू इट. आपण ह्याला धरून आहोत का, आपण काम करतोय का, काम करतोय इन द सेन्स इंग्लिश ग्रामर आपण बघतोय का, आपण इम्प्रूव्ह करतोय का, व्होकॅब्युलरीसाठी प्रयत्न करतोय का, ओरल कम्युनिकेशनसाठी किती वेळ देतो, किती प्रॅक्टिस करतो, रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेन्शनसाठी काय करतोय का, रायटिंग प्रॅक्टिसेससाठी सुद्धा यू हॅव टू गिव्ह सम टाइम. सो दिस वे यू पीपल कॅन डू दिस. ओके Akshata, at the end we will give you 5 minutes. Okay, so that time you just think if you are just ready with out of these two situations, in that case you can do that.
Okay.
Fine. So let's begin with 5.1. This 5.1 is all about business letters. So here might be you are familiar with letter writing since your 10th standard. 10th standard मध्ये होतं का letter writing होतं का? So at the 10th standard you might have two types of letters. कुठले होते दोन प्रकार? Formal and one is informal. Okay, so when you are just thinking of formal letter, आपण बघितले dialogue writing ला formal situation म्हणजे the situation where you are just having limitation of time, language or topic etc. Official, so that is formal. And informal, where people are expected to write letters to your friends, relatives, family members etc. That becomes informal. But here these business letters will be formal or informal? They will be strictly formal. You cannot write any manager, how are you, what are you doing, how are you feeling, how is your health. So these things you are not going to include in such kind of letters. You have to strictly stuck to the what topic, कुठल्या विषय संदर्भात तुम्हाला पत्र लिहायचे त्याच संदर्भामध्ये तुम्हाला ते लिहायचं असतं. So these business letters are formal. So let's try to go through this. Is the next slide visible for online students?
No, sir.
So first of all, we'll try to understand writing business letters. So business is the exchange of products and services on the basis of money. Whenever you think of business or a company, what happens in a company? So there is a company named A company. So they might be making some products, let's say pen are there. Okay, so they are manufacturing pens, and what they are doing with these pens, they sell these pens. And when they sell these pens, in return that they get some money. So this is basis of any business. So it can be production, it can be service also. Another, you can take example of paying service. For example, you go to the bank does not offer any products you, they offer service. Okay, so there is exchange of products or exchange of services, and in that they earn some profit, some money. And there are two parties. Which are these two parties? One is supplier or producer or provider, and another is customer or consumer. So Do you have clarification what supplier, producer, provider? So who is supplier? Who supplies? What does he supply? Anything. It can be raw material. It can be any manufactured goods. It can be anything. Producer, one who produces goods or services. Provider, one who makes it available. And on the other hand, you have customer and consumer. So customer, one who uses something. Okay, it can be, you know, goods, usually goods. And there is consumer. Consumer is related with service. Okay, so like bank, maybe mobile recharge and all those things, they are services. So there you become consumers or customers also. Similarly there, but you know, you have to make difference between consumer and customer. So customer is one who uses goods. Consumer can be one who uses service. Then these two parties write letters to one another with specific purposes. So when there is business, when there is company, there is exchange. Exchange of what? Number of things. Can be some goods, can be money, can be produces, whatever number of things are there. When there are two companies, where are there two parties, producer and supply, a lot of things happen between them, a lot of give and take happen between them, a lot of exchange happen between them. Okay, and they are related with some specific purposes. So what can be these specific purposes? You wanted to order some goods, for example, computers. You wanted to order some computers. Maybe you wanted to pay money to that company. You wanted to complain about the goods that you received from that company, or it can be any other. You wanted to claim something. So these are some specific purposes that you would like to write letters to companies or with each other. The exchange of those letters is known as business correspondence. So what is business correspondence? Any official document between two parties, between two communication, maybe sender and receiver, maybe the supplier and customer, producer and consumer, provider and customer, something like this, that will be business correspondence. And in business correspondence, there are letters, there are memos, there are notices, there are meetings, agendas, so many things come here. Okay, so that all things will be business correspondence, but here we are only focusing on what? Business letters. So let's try to see with the help of next slide here. It says it includes different types of letters, such as, so which are types of letters that you people are going to see and you are going to write also. First of all, inquiry letter, then there is quotation letter, then there is order letter and complaint letters, and they're based on one another. So you can imagine a situation, you are a manager in a company, okay, and you are going to start new branch or new office in new city, okay. So what you will do, first of all, what do you require? You require some place in all those things, and then later on, maybe you wanted to purchase some computers. Here we'll take example of computers, okay. So how will purchase computers? Will you go directly in any shop and just give me 5 computers, then you will pay money and then you will come back? Is it like this in company? No. If you wanted to pay or if you wanted to buy computer for yourself, you can do this. But if you're working in a company, you cannot go this way. So there is some procedure. So first of all, the first step in that will be inquiry. So what you will do? First of all, you will make inquiry. So inquiry can be with 2, 3 for comparison. So there is one company, there is 2 company, 3 companies. So you'll inquire, so which computers are there? So what is their specifications? What are the warranty, guarantee, price, etc., delivery, etc. And out of these 3 or 4, then you will choose. So you're going to inquire. So when you inquire, you need to ask the details or specifications of the product. As we have taken example of computer, what information you will ask about computer? Kai kai vicharal no? RAM, ROM, processor, okay, warranty, insurance, it depends upon the customer. If you want to get insurance, you can get it. So these things you will inquire, and then you'll compare with your inquiry 1, 2, 3. You'll compare which is better for you. Suppose that you finalize, so this will be reasonable for us. Okay, and we are going to finalize computers from this company. So next step will come of this B. So what is this? Quotation letter. So what is this quotation? When you wanted to buy something, first of all, you have to take out the quotation. So quotation means how much it will cost. Okay, it will be a kind of letter which will having list. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4 serial number. Then particulars like desktop, monitors, mouse, keyboard, etc. Quantity and then how much that you are expecting, etc. So that company will reply you with their actual prices and how much it will cost to you. That will be a quotation letter. Then third type of letter, it will be order letter. So once you're clear with this quotation, you thought that this quotation is quite okay and reasonable and that is affordable also. In that case, you're going to place an order. So you're going to write an order letter to that company and you're going to get your actual computers. Okay. Then next step comes, that is a complaint letter. So when to write complaint letter? Sometimes you get some problems when you received computers. So that time, as per your order, goods were not there. It can be damaged. It can be defective, not functioning, missing, faulty, etc. In such, you are going to write complaint also. And this way, this is a logical chain of these letters. First of all, you have to inquire, then you are asking for quotation, then you are going to place an order. And if requires, then you are going to complain. If everything is okay, you are not going to write complaint letter. All of the above letters are drafted on the letterheads of the concerned organization or company. So do you know what letterhead means? कोण सांगेल what letterhead असतं ते? काय असतं? Letterhead is a printed format of company's information. एकदम वरती बघा एक टॉप मार्जिन मध्ये कंपनीचं नाव, ऍड्रेस, त्यांचं जे काही आउटवर्ड नंबर वगैरे एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा असतं ते काय असतं, कंपनीचं लेटरहेड असतं आणि त्या लेटरहेड वरती सगळे लेटर्स लिहिले जातात. Okay, so that's all for today. We will try to cover remaining part, inquiry, quotation letter, complaint letter, आणि त्यांचे एक एक्झाम्पल हे आपण पुढच्या लेक्चर मध्ये बघतोय. So let me see if Akshata, if you can do something with your dialogues, otherwise we'll take attendance. Maybe
my partner is Sakshi Kaura.
Okay. Maybe next time also you can come prepared if you are not getting sufficient time.
Okay, sir.
Fine. So let's go for attendance. Roll number 2. Twelve. 15. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 27, 31, 35, 37, 38, 39, 40, 50, 55, 58, 59. So option numbers 2, 5, 18, 21, 27, 40, 50, 55, and 58. If anybody is here, you just let me know. All right, then we'll stop here. Next time we'll finish inquiry letter and example. Kon present hai?
Hello.
Who is present? Who is Fayu?
Fayu.
What is name of Fayu?
Divya Ghadge.
Okay, Fayu is there.
Divya Ghadge.
Okay. All right. So we'll close it. Akshata, you just be ready. Next time again, we will give 5 minutes for you and you can present dialogue. Others also can be ready. If you are want to present something, you can also be ready. So I will end this meeting for all.